So what's up YouTube? My name's Zachary and I'm a graphic designer and music enthusiast. So today we're doing something a little different than what we usually do on the channel. We're going to be picking out an album for the Monthly Album Redesign series. We're kind of doing like a precursor to the Monthly Album Redesign series in this video. Just wanted to change it up, do a little something different since it's almost the end of the year. I've done 12 straight Monthly Album Redesign series. I wanted to do something a little different on this next album redesign series. So I'm going to pick out one record from my vinyl collection here and we're going to rock with that record and I'm going to redesign it on my programs. You guys are going to see kind of like a behind the scenes of what that looks like in this video. So it's going to be very free-flowing video. Yeah, so let's pick out a record here. So I've really been into this album as of recently. Ram by Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney just released a Wings compilation record and I absolutely love Wings. This one is probably one of my favorite Paul McCartney solo records. Like I said, I absolutely love Wings. This is probably one of my favorite Wings records. It's a live album and it's called Wings Over America. This album is gold, man. This album, all the songs are phenomenal. The live performance, Paul's vocals, Paul's bass. Paul McCartney is slept on in the bass category, man. I mean, I'm telling you, that man knows how to play some bass. I actually want to make a whole video just on Paul alone and just talking about him because I'm telling you, he is slept on as a bass player. Obviously, the Beatles are huge and everybody knows Paul McCartney, but like, I feel like he's underappreciated as just a bass player in general. Like, everybody always gives him his flowers for being a songwriter. So yeah, maybe we'll do like a Wings album redesign or a Paul McCartney album redesign. We already did a Beatles redesign, so I don't really know if I want to go Paul McCartney. I'll link that up above like right here so you can check that out if you want. I don't really know. Got some Grateful Dead. Always good to do some Grateful Dead. I don't think I've done a Grateful Dead album redesign yet. I haven't done a Pink Floyd album redesign yet either. And now I'm thinking about it with this t-shirt I got on. There's so many options. Here, another great album live. Some Live Dead. Blues for Allah. This record just hit 50 years old. This is a really good record. Got some Stones we can do. Got some Stones, or we can go newer. We can hit the newer category and go with like a Black Keys album redesign, even some 21 Pilots. We can do a Panic at the Disco album redesign. Got like that collage vibe to it. Pretty cool. Kind of gives me Sgt. Pepper's, but like new age Sgt. Pepper's. Look at that. Kind of got the same thing, got the collage vibe going on. But yeah, so we could do something newer, but we just did Tame Impala's Deadbeat. We just did that last month for October. I highly recommend checking that out. I'd really like to do like a Stones one too, man, like a Sticky Fingers. Like Sticky Fingers, that'd be really cool, that'd be really dope. Do Black to Blue, that just hit 50. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary right now. They just dropped some unreleased tracks from this record too. They're really good. This is one of my favorite Stones records. Next to Sticky Fingers, this one's a great one. More of the disco era Stones, but this one's a great record. Some Girls, some Moody Blues. We could do Fleetwood Mac. I wonder how that would work. So like, how would I even begin to redesign something this iconic? That's the hard part about the album redesign series, is that you have to look at these iconic record covers, think of an alternative that would either release today or just another take on a completely classic, timeless record. I would definitely include Mick Fleetwood's balls there hanging. I always thought that was a really funny wardrobe choice for this album cover. We could do the self-titled first record with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. I think we're gonna go Zeppelin. I think we're gonna do Zeppelin. Now, of course, I got 4 copies of this. I don't know why, but we could do Zeppelin 4, which is an iconic cover in itself with the old man in the garden there. Or we could do this is one of my favorite Zeppelin covers too, because this has a spin wheel. These faces right here, it's got the spin wheel up here, and these faces, you can actually turn these faces and different pictures come into these little circles. This is one of the most iconic Zeppelin covers in my opinion. I love it. I love the design. I love the psychedelic look to it. It's just such an awesome record. And I love the interactiveness to albums. The fact that you can spin this wheel and like different pictures pop up in the circles is just, it's so neat. I think for sure I'm going to do a Zeppelin album. I'm feeling Zeppelin for some reason. But we already did the Beatles, so I don't know if I'm going to do Paul McCartney. I do love Paul McCartney and Wings. I'm thinking we're going to do a straight up classic album. I think we're gonna go with Led Zeppelin 1. This is an iconic record with the exploding blimp, the Hindenburg from back in the 30s. This album is a masterpiece, front to back, amazing blues rock. This was a pioneer record for its time. This album, when this first came out, I can only imagine being back in the day and hearing this album for the first time, man. Like this album was just an iconic album. And that cover with the orange and the orange Atlantic logo down here and just the black and white, I kind of want to stick with the same vibe with the color. You got that halftone speckle effect, but I think this could be a really, really cool redo Even if we just spruced it up and changed it up a little bit and kind of added a little 2025 flair in there. 1969, this album, this album cover still stands up today, man. Like, I could see somebody doing this. I would absolutely do this. I love the grittiness of this album, just the analog feel to it, and it's cool too. Somebody colored in right there with like blue pen. I love like when there's little nuances in the album covers, or like somebody writes their name on it, you know, because back in the day, you'd give this to somebody, you'd be like, here, listen to this new record, and then they'd never return it. But yeah, you just got that washed out look, got like the brown smudges and stuff just from years of hauling it around. I just love that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is the one we're doing. We're doing this one. Let's do it. Let's get to the computer. Let's do it. Okay, so my ideas with this album cover is basically, like I said, I want to kind of keep the same vibe of this album cover with like the black and the white, that half-tone Xerox machine kind of look to it. Because this album cover is so iconic, I want to kind of keep it in the wheelhouse, but just do something a little different, a little more modern. Just switch it up a little bit, but keep it in the same ballpark as this album cover. There is a rare Led Zeppelin 1 version out there where the Led Zeppelin and the Atlantic logo is green. I know that one's more rare out there, and it's like, it goes for crazy amounts of money. Maybe I might throw a little bit of green in this too, just to kind of tie those two together. I want to keep it pretty much the same, but just kind of modernize it just a little bit. I have a style that I really am thinking about doing. I follow like record companies and stuff like that, and one of my favorite record companies is the Black Keys Dan Arabacks, called Easy Eye Sound out of Nashville, and their graphic department, all their album covers just have a certain flavor to them, and they just have a warmth and a really great grittiness to them, and also have that modern feel to them. So like, I think I'm going to go with that specific styling, or at least come close to that styling, and we're going to try and do that. I don't know how we're going to do it. Yeah, we'll go from there and we'll see what's up. So as you just saw, we're trying to pick out a type, and it takes a little bit longer sometimes just because of the fact that there's so many different typefaces, and I'm trying to really hone in on a specific styling because of what I want to do with the Led Zeppelin. I want to make it almost like a 3D look to it, and give it some more depth and make it more 3D-like. Sometimes going through and just really like just searching through your font folders, and sometimes you got to go and download one or buy one. So what you just saw was a fast-forwarded version of me just going through all my fonts and just really focusing on specific kinds of fonts, just really thick, bold type fonts. We're trying to get as close to this thick font as possible because I want it similar to this, but not exactly. So I'm just trying to go with nice squared off edges of the font. Really just stick with this styling of font, but not this exact one. I don't want this exact font. So squared edges, thick typeface, and just big bold lettering, just like this, but not exactly like this. That's what we're going for. So I'll show you exactly the grouping of fonts I chose close up now. So as you can see right here, I'm trying to get as close as possible to the thickness of the font. These ones are just kind of ideas. I was maybe thinking about using these for the back part of the album cover. This one actually resembles a very close related Zeppelin font that they use all the time on a lot of the merchandise and back packaging and front packagings of their albums. These ones I like that they're a little more distressed. Like this one, you can tell a little bit that's got a little bit of distressing. I like these also. Really thought about using these for the back part. I'm just going to mess with the colors and stuff and see if I can get what I want out of these. Maybe mess with the kerning a little bit, bring them closer together so they're not so far apart. This one too, because it's smaller. For what I'm going for, this one isn't exactly my favorite. And these two were just more 60s styling, a little different than what I'm trying to go for. Like this is a little too wavy for my liking. I want to go for some more blocky and squared off like these guys. Same with this one. This one's just too typewriter looking, but it might be good for a back cover. I'm really liking this one because it kind of resembles this guy. I really like this one. This one is the one I'm focusing on right now, but I'm just going to keep messing around with a couple different ones, and we're going to go from there, and I will pick out my favorite font and we'll figure out exactly what we want to do. Okay, so I'm going to show you the design that I'm kind of working with right now. I'll show you some ideas of where I'm going with it. I'm not going to show you the finished product just yet because that video is about to be dropping in like a week or two, and I want you to be able to tune in for that. This was basically like a chill video where you see my design process and like what my ideas are and where I'm going with it. I'll show you kind of the roundabout of where my ideas are going. I don't know if it's going to stay like this or if it's going to evolve. As I keep messing with it over the next day or so, it'll change and the iterations will keep going, and then I'll go into the back cover and it'll just keep changing. I usually give the monthly album redesign series. Sometimes I get it done in a day. Sometimes it takes me 2-3 days. Sometimes I'll walk away from it and I'll come back to it, but it's constantly changing and evolving. So this is just what I kind of got in mind right now where I'm trying to go. I might go into Illustrator, add this font that I'm currently using, and then just kind of mess with it in Illustrator because you can manipulate and do different things in Illustrator with fonts. I really like using Illustrator and then exporting it into Photoshop and then messing with the visuals through Photoshop. It's just what I like to do. It's how I do it, and it's how I've always done it, and it's how I feel comfortable. So that's kind of where my thought process is going currently. Let's show you now kind of where my ideas are flowing and where we're going with it, and then be sure to tune in next week or the following week and see the final product of the redesign for Led Zeppelin 1. Yeah, so let's get into this. I'll show you and I'll kind of explain a little bit. So here we go. We got the design. So like I said, the Led Zeppelin, I'm probably going to throw it in Illustrator and mess with it in Illustrator because you can do different things. I kind of got this idea for the background. I'm going to do like this tie-dye pastel-y effect here. That's kind of where I'm going with right now. I'm adding this little halftone eventually. Potentially going to do like this here. Take out this background, this black box style in here, just like that. And then with this little background kind of in that black box, but I'm still messing with the colors and tweaking it out. Still got to mess with the levels. That's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, this could change at any given moment. Going to constantly evolve. I'm not done yet. I'm still brainstorming, but this is kind of the template of what we're going to do and where we're going to take it. Rock and roll. So that's kind of where my ideas are at right now with this design. As you can see, it's going to constantly evolve, and that's the whole goal with this. So the monthly album redesign series, I grab one record from my album collection and we redesign it. The whole goal here is to basically just brainstorm and get ideas and see if you can do something, even if it's just taking the original idea and just slightly tweaking it and making it a little different and making it your own. That's the whole point of this album redesign series. We'll see what we come out with. Make sure you tune in within the next week or two and find out exactly where I took Led Zeppelin 1. I'll catch you guys then.